to the garage gym. Uh, I'm listening to a podcast, so if this is too loud, let me know. Also, it's kind of late. It's like 8:20, so I'm gonna try to be quiet down here so I don't disturb my neighbor. I'm sure the last thing my neighbor wants is a guy banging weights in the garage at 9 o'clock at night. But that's what we get when we put off working out until the very end of the day. Uh, oh, whoever works out in this gym needs to do a better job of picking up their weight. I swear, just a bunch of hooligans running around in this garage gym, not cleaning up after themselves. I mean, how dare they? I guess that is one benefit of it being your gym is like you can kind of leave it how you want it. But then that also means you're solely responsible for keeping it clean. Okay. The stream froze last time I did this last yesterday. I think it was because it was leg day. So the universe was basically just telling me, you know, this is your punishment for putting off legs for so long. You don't need to stream. You need to focus on doing legs. And yes, I'm going to barbell bench press, but it's not Monday. So you can't make fun of me. Honestly, I never really understood that joke because, like, who cares if you bench press on Monday? What's up, my brother? Thanks, man. Appreciate it. God bless you, brother. Jesus loves you. Jay Jade away. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. That's really nice. Jesus feels the same way about you. Jake D, how you doing there, Jake D? Yeah, so I just never really understood the whole joke about benching on Mondays because, like, that makes sense, right? Like, get your week off to a great start, do some bench. Although the problem probably is that leg day always ends up being on Friday, and then on Friday, the last thing you want to do is come to the gym after work and do legs, so people just end up skipping it. I don't know. I think the key with making sure legs gets done is just to find leg exercise that you actually enjoy. Which somebody might say, well, that's an oxymoron. But I don't know. I think there are definitely leg exercises you can look forward to doing. I always feel like that's honestly kind of a great tactic for structuring your workout is to kind of put something that you really like to do towards the end of your workout and then put the stuff that you need to do at the beginning And so then there's like this incentive, right, to get through the things you need to do. I don't know. There's all sorts of tricks, to get yourself to do stuff you don't want to do. And we all probably find our tricks. Well, I better hold on. I got to track my workout or it didn't happen. Hold on. There we go. Mo Mopore. Sorry if I said your username wrong. Please remember to take a rest and drink some water while streaming, sir. Oh, I appreciate that, man. You're right. Well, I don't have any water down here right now. I do have my pre-workout espresso, but I am indeed hydrated. I can assure you. But I appreciate the thoughts. Very kind. That feels pretty good. Let's see. That's two. So need a 10 and a 2.5. I imagine people who lift weights score particularly high on anything involving adding numbers together. Addition and subtraction becomes a way of life if you lift weights regularly. Counting too, huh? We get very good at counting. Although sometimes I'm pretty sure I screw up my rep count every so now and then. So I just do more just to be sure. You want to cheat yourself. All right. I'm gonna try to do 3 reps, 3-ish reps, 3-ish, 3-ish at 300. I like the symmetry. Last time the stream froze. So I need to come up with a good way to like monitor the stream. I had a situation Saturday, Saturday night, this past Saturday night. I streamed for like one with the Bears. He- Hemorrhoids. Maybe you misspelled it on purpose to be funny. Uh, but it is. I think that is misspelled, right? Let me ask Google. But yeah, hemorrhoids are definitely a thing. You gotta be careful. You don't want any of them. Oh yeah, definitely misspelled it. Well, that's okay. Yeah, you want to avoid that. It's never been a. I don't think it's a real problem. Uh, as long as you don't, skip the core work, right? You want to be able to build intra-abdominal pressure when you're lifting. Anybody here work out today already? Waiting till 8:30 at night is never the play. Although, honestly, I can work out anytime. When I was in college, I worked as a medical scribe and worked we had basically 4 shifts, and they fell forward, so there was, like, a 7 to 5 shift, an 11 to 7 shift, I think a 2 to 11, something like that, and then the overnight there was another one, there was, like, a 4 to 2, something like that, 4 to 2 shift, so maybe it was 5 shifts, but, yeah, I used to always work out after those shifts, so if it was, like, if it was a 4 to 2 a.m. shift, I'd just get off and go to the gym and work out at 2 a.m. in the morning. Uh, so timing doesn't bother me. I mean, you just get it in when you can. But yeah, in my faith, I don't like putting it off until the evening. If I had my preference, the best time to work out is like show up at the gym 9:30 ish, get your coffee, get your pre workout, warm up, and then hit it about 10 o'clock. Right, hour, hour 15 ish. You're out by 11. You can take your shake or get some lunch, and then yeah, that's like I don't know, that's the perfect to me, that's like the perfect time of day. When I owned a gym, we had a barbell club, and our barbell club always met at like 10 o'clock on Saturday mornings. Some of the best training sessions. But wouldn't you know it, when when does my uh when does my work schedule our daily stand up? Right at 10. Uh so but it's only 15 minutes or so. So if I still want to work out around that time, I can. Today was just an odd day. My youngest was home from school, and it was just me and him, and so it was just a weird schedule. But yeah, pretty uneventful day here in my world. How was your guys' day? Any happenings? I saw all the Grammy stuff. I didn't watch the Grammys on Sunday, but I saw a bunch of the clips on TikTok. The Chappelle, I think that's her name, Roan. Her performance looked good. Sabrina Carpenter performance was baller. I can't believe Billie Eilish. I don't think she won any awards, which is pretty crazy. There's also some really funny clips of Taylor Swift having a good time. I mean, I feel bad for people that don't like Taylor Swift, honestly. Like, how can you not like that person? Also, I've completely lost count of the number of sets. I think I've done 4. I was gonna do 5. So a win is a win. A win is a win. I had some really nice people in chat on Sunday, and today I've just got a one with bears commenting hemorrhoids. YouTube's a weird place, like, in terms of the community here. Like, there's some really nice people that leave really cool comments on videos and stuff, and then there's some people who just I had one guy leave a message on one of my shorts that was just like, "This is the most awful short." Not even he didn't even punctuate it. I wasn't even worth his effort to punctuate his comment. Yeah, no, people are weird. That's it. Ah. Alright. Well, that was a success. If you're here and you wanna chat, drop a comment, let me know how your day went. I'd love to I'd love to hear from you guys. It's always good to talk to people on these things. Oh. If you guys like, if you guys do like fitness content, one of the creators, I mean, he's much more than a creator, but one of my favorite fitness professionals is Mike Israetel. I think that's how you say his name, from Renaissance Periodization. He's pretty active on IG, on Instagram. You should, if you don't already follow him, you should go follow him. He's got a YouTube channel too. Uh, but yeah, he's super smart. He's got a good sense of humor, uh, science based. Really, really enjoy his content. So I'm not primarily making fitness content anymore, even though I mean I love fitness, I love working out. But my channel lately has been pretty much focused on programming and coding. Which if you like that too, great. Then we're kindred souls, you know? If you like to lift and you like to code, you're in the right place. Uh, but if you love fitness content, I would definitely go follow him, give his channel a subscriber. There's also some people, I don't know how active they are on YouTube, but you should also look up Eric Cressy, Tony Gentile uh, Dean Somerset. Those are some of my favorite online fitness professionals. I've met almost all of them in person back in the day at conferences and whatnot. I don't know. I think my fitness career will come back around just in this time of my life with a family. Working in fitness is kind of tough. The the tech career has been much more compatible with young kids and family and having kind of an 8 to 5 job. Um, that's the strange thing about like when I personal trained, you would work from like 4 to 8, right? Like 4 to 8, 4 to 10, and then you'd be off from like 10 to 3 ish, and then you'd be back on the clock from like 3 to 8, 3 to 10. I had one client. What was his name? His name was Drew. I forget his last name, but he always wanted appointments at like 9 p.m. Was the worst. Um, but I was in, I was young. I needed the money. You only get paid, you get paid only when you actually do a session with clients. So All right, 9 p.m. it is. But that whole split shift thing is just difficult, and I'm not sure how anyone does makes a career out of that kind of schedule for an extended period of time. I look lost, don't I? I look like I'm trying to figure out what to do next. I actually think I'm gonna do dumbbell overhead tricep extensions, and I'm just gonna superset those with some lateral raises to save me some time. Because I was gonna probably stream and work out for about 30 minutes and then call it. Atroid McGriff I'm sorry, man. I completely butchered your or a girl. I'm sorry. I can't tell from your profile picture, but yeah. Sorry, I messed up your username. What news? I don't know what you're referring to. Is it a joke? Are you guys gonna troll me? Are you gonna troll me? You. I'm a woman. Okay, nice. I like your username. Oh my gosh, dude. I'm not saying that username. I am curious though. Like what drives a person to make a YouTube account like that and then like go on around the YouTubes and comment and interact? Is it just the thrill of like the reactions that you get from people? Boston Sports Cards. Hello, nice to see you. Are you a Boston fan? Oh, that's an Eagles guy in your profile picture. Huh, nice, Eagles fan. Yeah, so you're excited for this weekend, huh? Me too. I'm not really a Chiefs fan, but I live really close to Kansas City, so it's kind of obligatory that you somewhat. But I'm rooting for the Eagles. Nice. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I I'm excited. I honestly think some of the AFC playoff games may be better than the Super Bowl. Uh, I'm not I'm not particularly rooting for them. So if they lose, no big deal. But I mean, I more mean that you kind of you have to care about what's going on with the hometown team. Personally, I'm a Rams fan. When I was growing up, it was you could root for the Chiefs or you could root for the Rams, or that's how I felt being from Missouri. And the Chiefs were breaking hearts every every year. And so while my dad and brother continued to be diehard Chiefs fans, decided, I'm gonna go watch the greatest show on turf. And so that's how I became a Rams fan. And then they moved to LA, and then everybody was like, "Are you gonna change?" And like for 6 months, I thought about giving up my fandom, but I was like, "Yeah, they were in LA before. Maybe they'll come back to St. Louis again. Who knows?" Musicom 22. Yeah, yeah. The playoffs did not go well for them. Although it was a really exciting season because we started off like 1-4. I don't know how close you pay attention to the NFL, but we started off like 1-4, and then we basically ran the table to clinch the division and make it into the playoffs. I did after like the fifth week, I wrote us off, and so it was really fun to watch. Apparently, they're going to trade Cooper Cup. I saw that on Instagram, uh, which is just crazy. I mean, I mean, 3 years ago, right, 2 or 3 years ago, he was the Triple Crown winner. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that's all about. I mean, Puka Nakua is awesome, but Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'd go around shopping Cooper Cup if it was me. But I'm also not an NFL general manager either. I'm a guy who works out in his garage and streams it on YouTube. So, for whatever my opinion's worth. Mo Monet Get, not gonna lie. What's that? What's that about? Yeah, the Rams did have a good run, and in the playoffs, they had a good run to end the season. They had a good showing. I really thought we were gonna come back. I thought we were gonna win that game. I honestly, yeah, that was pretty bummer. You know, that's the nice thing about the NFL. There's always next year. Oh, there's nothing wrong with being a bandwagon fan. I mean, if people are good, I mean, that's what I always tell my boys. I have two sons. I always tell them that I'm more of a fan of football in general. So I mean, I'll watch anybody. I feel like sometimes I'm more of a fan of players than I am of teams. Like I love Saquon Barkley. I mean, that guy is just. I love tough, physical football players. Uh, and so yeah, that guy just he's awesome. All the oh yeah, except the Celtics. Yeah, the Celtics, right? They're pretty good. I don't follow NBA that much, although I have been following the Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic. I don't know how to say his last name, but that is crazy. Oh, thanks, Boston Sports Cards. I appreciate you liking my stream. It's really nice of you. Um, it's nice that anybody would stop by and chat and I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. I said I was gonna superset these with lateral raises, and then I never did it. Dude, this guy in the chat, this Mone Get, I think he's a little bit of he's trolling us a little bit. Is your username supposed to be like Monday Get, or is it some other thing? I don't get it. But he is at least the other guy got out of here. What was his name? HJ. That HJ username. It's just oh, it's French. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. I thought maybe it was like a play on words. That's cool. French, huh? What part of are you from? Are you I guess I should say, are you from France? Or is your name just French? Or maybe you're from Canada. I know there's quite a large French population, right, in Canada? When I was in France and then UK. Oh, nice. Very cool. So Europe. So are you still there? Are you still based in Europe? What time is it there? They're let's see, the East Coast is ahead of me by an hour, so Europe's got to be several hours ahead of me. Boston Sports Cards, how many pull-ups can you do in a row? Like two or three. I weigh about 240. So my strength to body weight ratio is pretty bad. Actually, that's what we did on stream 2 nights ago or a night ago. Yeah, 2 nights ago. We did pull-ups on stream. I did like 30 over a course of like 10 sets. So I just tried to do a lot of volume. Oh, you're in. I want to say your username correctly. Monet Get. Monet Get. You're in Pacific Northwest. Very cool. Oh, thanks, Boston Sports Guy. I appreciate you subscribing. That's super nice. And I totally understand if the content that I publish and put out there is not for you, if you're not interested in it. But I try to live stream when I work out, so you can stop in and chat, you know? Yeah, Pacific Northwest. So that's actually a place I've never been to, but every time I see pictures or videos, I feel called home. And the last company I worked for had a manufacturing plant. I was based at a manufacturing plant in Missouri, and they had a plant in uh, Portland. And so I always had the dream that, like, we could get to the right circumstance or something, and I would transfer over there just to see what it's like to live there for a little bit. Oh wow, from Japan. Hey, nice to see you. Very cool. Uh, K- Canel Zoid. You remind me of Harry Potter on steroids. That's pretty funny. I'll have to tell my wife that someone said that. We are huge Harry Potter fans in our house. Like we just kind of like ambiently play the series a lot. And that's really really funny. I appreciate that, Boston Sports Card. That's really nice of you. I think it's great that you're interested in starting to work out. Yeah, I would just like 10 years ago, I probably would have like said you need to have like this big complicated training program, um, and need to be super scientific about it. And now my advice is to just find find a movement practice that you enjoy, whether it be yoga or lifting weights or running or walking, but just find something that you enjoy doing because that's more than likely you'll do it regularly. Um, it's kind of that whole idea of like the best program is the one you'll stick to. I had a strength coach in high school that used to always say that. He'd always be like, I can make you the most ideal thing, the most perfect thing for your goals, but if you don't stick to it, um, it's not really worth its salt. Of course, man. Of course, yeah. Always happy to talk training, fitness, programming, any of that stuff. How did I start? Uh, let's see. So I started working out when I was 12. I was like in the sixth grade, uh, and I don't really know what piqued my interest in it. Um, my mom had always worked out. We had always had a membership to our local Y for forever. And so I kind of had been around a weight room and seen people do it. Uh, and when I was like 12, my mom bought me like two or three, I think, because I told her I wanted to work out, and so she bought me like two or three personal training sessions with a trainer at the Y, and I did those, and then I was kind of like they had like a tween program, so like once you had completed those sessions, you were allowed to be in the weight room unmonitored without a supervision, um, and it stuck from there. And so I always tell people like from the age of 12 to the age I am today, 31. If you add all the days up in there, I've probably lifted 95% of them. Um, and and my hope is that on the day that I leave this earth, I will have lifted some weights that day. That's one of my goals. And then of course, I had always played sports too, so obviously like lifting and working out and training just kind of naturally played into that. So I played baseball and basketball, or baseball, basketball, football in middle school, and then in high school it was just baseball and football, and did that through my senior year of high school. So it just kind of went together. And then obviously when I got out of school, when I got out of high school, I got certified, did personal training for 4 or 5 years. S- I guess 7 years in total. So I personal trained at a couple different gyms, and then I did that all through college. And then when I finished college, I owned a gym for 2 years and did personal training for 2 years. And then my first son came along, and so at that point, me and my wife were kind of like, okay, it's probably time that I get a job where I can kind of prioritize the family and be available and everything. So we kind of put the whole fitness and personal training thing on the back burner, and I kind of went into the corporate world. But I still love to work out. I still love to talk shop and all that stuff. I kind of keep one foot in that world because I think at some point I'll probably hop back over there at some point. I don't know when that will be. Um, but yeah, that's my story. That's kind of how I got into it. And I don't know. It's my the gym is like my third place. If you've ever heard that term, like everybody has their third place, right? So we have our house. Most of us have a job we go to, and then most of us have that third place, right? Maybe it's your bar, maybe it's uh, you know a restaurant, someplace you hang out, maybe someplace you play board games or whatever. For me, it's always been the gym. I uh, I never feel um, as comfortable or as at home as I do in the weight room. Like I always feel bad for people because I know a lot of people find the gym to be um, a very intimidating place, I totally understand why they feel that way. But for me, it's never felt that way. Oh yeah, you're welcome, Boston Sports Cards. Yeah, man. That was probably a longer story than you were looking for, but um, yeah, thanks for stopping in and chatting. I appreciate it. It's nice to. It's kind of weird. Like I know in order to have people to show up to a live stream, I have to live stream regularly. But it's also kind of a weird activity because you're like live streaming to yourself. Um, you're in a room, you're talking to yourself most of the time, or at least I'm guessing that's how it is for a while in the beginning. Uh, what would you suggest for weight loss? Uh, man, there's so many different approaches to it, right? And there's so many different conflicting opinions and information out there. But really, when you get down to it, the heart of it is a calorie deficit. And I know that sounds probably like super boring and super bland, but at the heart of all these diets that work, that people claim work, which I mean they do to some extent, but the mechanism is a calorie deficit. Um, that's kind of whether it's low carb, low fat, high protein. Uh, uh, what's there was one my mom and sister did a lot when we were growing up. Uh, it's the Mediterranean diet, I think. But any of them, that's the mechanism of action. Um, it's the laws of thermodynamics. My degree is in my uh, my bachelor's degree is in biochemistry, and so it just comes down to you know less in, more out. Unfortunately, Marty Miller. Hey man, what's up? I appreciate it. I honestly, you know what, the whole Trapzilla thing. Honestly, I think if you saw me in person, you probably wouldn't think that. It's probably just like the angle of the camera. I've always felt like my traps are not like what you would expect them to be for someone who's worked out for a while. Totally agree. Calories and you want to lose weight, eat in a deficit. Yeah. And it's just hard, right? Because uh it's figuring out how best to structure the diet for you. It kind of goes back to that thing I said about training programs, right? The best training program is the one you'll stick to. And it kind of goes for like a weight loss diet, right? It's like the best weight loss diet is the one that'll keep you consistently in a calorie deficit. Uh, and I honestly, me myself, like I've got extra, weight too. Like, I wish there was like, if they, I mean, obviously there's now magic medicine, these GLP ones, but I do wish there was some sort of magic, like go to eat these six foods at these times, and the weight will just start falling off. And unfortunately, physics has other plans for us. Unfortunately, I think for me, I get more frustrated when people advocate specific diets and try to convince people that that's the only way, you know? I want people to I kinda want people to understand that, like, there's, like, the perfect way of doing it, and then there's the way of doing it that you'll stick to and that will work for you, and that's where we should start, and we can always work on making things more ideal over time. Yeah, you don't have to do you don't have to do chicken and broccoli, yeah, exactly. How many times should I go to the gym a week? Like, I'm Yeah, I agree with what Marty Miller said. I don't think there's anything wrong with 3 days a week. I mean, I think the gym's gonna be more about, you it's kind of that, like, you've heard that cliche thing of, like, abs are made in the kitchen, right? And so, that would be my point of advice is, like, if your goal is really weight loss, you wanna invest time and energy in that diet aspect, and if that means, you shorten up your workouts or you only go to the gym twice a week, or maybe you go 3 times a week for 15 minutes or something. Um, if you only had, if we were looking at this from like a resource allocation where it's like, I have 10 hours a week, or maybe I have 5 hours a week to commit to this goal of losing weight. Um, if you were my client, I'd be like, okay, we should take those 5 hours and we should prioritize as many things that will support your diet and maintaining a caloric deficit as we can, right? Is that food prep? Is that grocery shopping? Whatever that is, that's going to be a far better investment of those hours than the gym at this point. If your goal is weight loss, although I would never say, hey, don't go to the gym. Just if you are resource constrained, right? That's kind of how I think about it. Um, which was always hard, is like in the personal training world. That was one of the nice things when I got out on my own. Uh, and had my own gym, there was clients I worked with just purely on like lifestyle dietary stuff. So, we'd meet like once a week. Um, and we weren't really focused on the physical aspect of it in terms of like training. We would talk a lot about like lifestyle, behavior, diet, because that was a better investment of what their goal was. If your goal was, if you were telling me that your goal was, I want to bench press 300 pounds, or I want to do 10 pull-ups or something like that, then obviously we need to get you to the gym. Uh, but if your goal is weight loss, if it's changing your physique, so much of that's going to come from the effort that you put in outside of the gym. All right. I think I got one more set. I've kind of pushed over my time here. I thought I was going to be out here about 30 minutes, but it's turned into 40. I appreciate you guys sticking around though and chatting, keep me company. Live stream is kind of interesting. It's like having a virtual training partner, in a way. Yeah. So it's kind of nice. It's been a long time since I've had a training partner, like high school. No, college. I hope I have 2 sons, they're still pretty young, but I'm hoping before long, they'll be my training partner or partners, and we can all get swole in the garage together. Although, if lifting weights isn't their preferred form of exercise, that's fine too. Okay, let me set these down. We can say our goodbyes, huh? I'm sure my neighbor has loved me rambling in my garage at 9 o'clock at night. Do I go live every night? Not Not really. I've been going live basically on YouTube. I go live on Twitch when I do the programming, the coding. Um, and then usually I go live, or I started to try to go live when I work out. And that's typically during the day in the afternoon. I usually work out like around 3 o'clock or so before my kids get home from school. So that's typically my normal time. But if I have meetings, or if it's a weird day like today was, sometimes it'll get pushed into the evenings, and I'll do it uh, like right before the kids go to bed or after the kids go to bed. But that's you can usually catch me if you're able to. I'll usually be live some time mid afternoon. But maybe I'll catch it in the evening too. Uh, I appreciate you subscribing. I really do. That's super nice of you. Um, and like I said, a lot of the content on my channel right now has just been posted around kind of what I'm doing and what I'm interested in at the moment, which is programming and coding. However, yeah, I pop into the streams. I also have I guess it's a little bit now defunct, but if you search on YouTube, if you search for Freeborn Training Systems on YouTube, there's a video with a bunch of videos of me from my life, from my life in that world. So if you want to hear me talk and ramble and talk about programs and protein and all that good stuff, definitely go check out that channel. There's like over 1,000 videos, smorgasbord of content that you can check out. So I'm gonna run, but thanks for sticking with me, Boston Sports Cards. I appreciate it. If I don't chat with you before the weekend, go Eagles. Uh, I hope you have a good time. I hope you enjoy the game, and good luck with where did I go to college? I went to sorry, I saw your comment. I went to a college in Joplin, Missouri, called Missouri Southern State University. It's a local, I guess it's a state school, but it's a smaller school. Um, yeah, it'll be a good experience. So, all right, man. I will. I'll talk to you guys later. For everybody else that was here, if you're lurking, I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Have a good evening.